They done messed around and made it personal. I'm the only one that's honest about ranking my kids. You guys act like you love all of them the same and you don't.
What if he goes to NFL?
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that.
I absolutely love this storyline, and I know we don't typically cover college football, but whenever an NFL Hall of Famer is able to get his team to this level of relevance, I have nothing but appreciation for it, and I figured we'd cover it. So if you guys want to see us cover more of Deion Sanders' tenure as the Colorado Buffaloes head coach, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. Now that we get all that out of the way, break! Brings a huge smile to my face. Bam, 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 bam. You guys are making bank on Prize Picks. I absolutely love it. Week 1 was a huge success for a lot of you guys. And we're gonna keep it going, man. Each and every day, I post my picks for free on my Instagram story at The Flight Mike. And we're gonna feature the best slips on this channel each and every week. So submit them to me via Instagram DMs if you want to be featured. And if you haven't started playing Prize Picks, you use my promo code Mikerophone and they'll match your initial deposit when you sign up on Prize Picks. And thank you, Prize Picks, for the sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? You don't typically see a storyline like this. You don't ever see two sport athletes that have made almost $50 million throughout their career playing baseball and football decide to transition into the world of being a college football head coach. You rarely see it happen successfully. Typically, the individuals that make it this far are coaches that didn't really succeed as football players, so they decided to get into coaching. And I think that's what makes Deion Sanders' story so great. It's not the first time Coach Prime did something like this. When he played in the NFL, he was also a two-sport athlete, playing baseball for the Atlanta Braves. After retiring briefly in the early 2000s, he would return in the mid-2000s to play for the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, Deion Sanders is no stranger to doing something that you've never seen before. But I think what he's doing with his sons at Colorado is very unique. And the thing I appreciate the most about this is the type of trash talk that he had in the 90s when he was at the top of his game as a player in the NFL is something that he's also doing once again as a head coach. And this time there's social media. So this time it's amplified. And watching him turn around a relatively irrelevant program into what it is currently is truly a sight to behold. And he's been doing it in the most controversial way that he possibly could. It seems like he takes every opportunity to be controversial and leverages that into more media attention for his team. My personal favorite story that happened recently is the fact that Deion Sanders power ranks his kids. I mean, can we talk about this? This is so freaking funny to me. Happy birthday to my favorite son, at Deion Sanders Jr. I'm so proud of you. Although you're in my pockets from time to time, your productivity is well above reproach. You have blown up my social, JSU social, your sibling social, and you're excellent at what you do. Keep on striving for your dreams and to understand your purpose in life. You're the #1 son and #1 on the kids' rankings currently. And bro, he didn't stop there. He actually ranked his kids in the caption, saying #1 is Deion Sanders Jr., #2 is Shalomi Sanders, #3 is Shedeur Sanders, which is the starting quarterback for his team. #4 is DeAndre Sanders, and #5 is Shiloh Sanders, who is also a defensive back for his team. I'm not roasting him because I think this is hysterical, and clearly it's working. I don't have kids of my own, so obviously I don't have the personal tie that he has. If you're a parent, please let me know what you think about this approach, because when Deion Sanders was criticized about this is what he had to say about it.
I'm the only one that's honest about ranking my kids. You guys act like you love all of them the same and you don't. I don't know why y'all act like that.
For that aside, I could make a 30-minute video on all the craziness that's going on with this football team. Whether it's Shedeur Sanders trash talking Nebraska by flexing his watch, like quite literally just bringing his watch to his opposition's face, or probably the craziest story of all, during week 2, when Colorado State's head coach Jay Norvell tried to take a dig at Deion Sanders, firing a shot at Deion Sanders saying that he takes his hat and glasses off when he talks to grown-ups because that's what his mother taught him. Immediately saw video clips like this.
Try to get out here and be the best coach I could be, and I look up and I read some bull junk that Dan said about us. Why would you want to talk about us when we don't talk about nobody? All we do is go out here, work our butts off. But when they give us ammunition, they done messed around and made it what? It was just gonna be a good game. They done messed around and made it. I'm gonna give you these.
And currently, Deion Sanders was able to turn this trash-talking opportunity into $5 million of sales for Blender's sunglasses that partnered with Deion Sanders to sell sunglasses. You just don't hear these types of stories. But the real reason I wanted to make this video is what Deion Sanders recently said about his kids. And no, it's not another power ranking. This time, it's about whether Shedeur is going to enter the NFL draft or not. You guys have seen me come on this channel and mention multiple times how this is one of the most loaded quarterback drafts we have ever seen. From Caleb Williams to Shedeur Sanders to Drake May to Quinn Ewers, even the mid talents look pretty good. But a few weeks ago, we made a short on how Caleb Williams said he would not leave USC to join the NFL if he doesn't like the team that's selecting #1 overall. And it seems like once again, the same thing is happening here. Now, at the time we're recording this video, Shedeur Sanders has the second most passing yards in college football. He has the most completions of every QB in college football. He has a higher completion percentage than Caleb Williams, Michael Penix Jr., and Drake May, and he has more passing TDs than Quinn Ewers, Jordan Travis, and JJ McCarthy. He has a passer rating of 178.7 through 3 weeks. Obviously, well worth the hype at this point. We could all agree. But it seems like, despite this, Deion Sanders doesn't want Shedeur Sanders to join the NFL just yet. Check it out.
What if he goes to the NFL?
Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. So we've discussed every possible scenario that can be had. I don't want to be too to nobody. He don't get down like that.
Now, of course, a lot of people are asking whether or not it's
right of Coach Prime to try to control his son's lives. Oh, what if Deion Sanders has an ulterior motive? Maybe he just wants Shedeur to stay at Colorado so he could backpack his career.
Because now with NIL and who they are, you could make just as much money here as you can there.
But I will admit, Deion Sanders makes a very, very good point here. It's a point that we've never seen before. In years past, college football players would leave to the NFL far too early just because they wanted to make extra money. I mean, the best story here would probably be Johnny Manziel. He jumped into the NFL the moment he had the opportunity to. Whereas if NIL deals were still a thing, I'm pretty convinced that Johnny Manziel would still somehow be playing college football now. If Stetson Bennett was able to do it, I'm sure Johnny Manziel would have found a way. He loved college. But there's another reason here that definitely caught my eye. He would also say later on in the interview that it's about a lot more than the fact that he just doesn't want Shedeur to go to the NFL. It's a lot more than trying to make sure Colorado is relevant, which is what some people are suggesting Deion Sanders is doing. Sanders stressed that the decision to turn pro goes beyond on-field performance, encompassing factors such as team dynamics, position, and draft round projections. He pointed out that in the current landscape of college football with NIL opportunities, players can earn significant income. Sanders also added that Shedeur in particular aspires to be a top prospect rather than taking a back seat to someone, even in reference to projected #1 overall pick Caleb Williams. So this is very fascinating because, again, you've never seen a scenario like this before. You've never had college football players getting paid the amount that they are getting paid now. You never would see players flexing their wrist when they're trying to trash talk or driving Maybachs, but that's the world we live in, and it's definitely altered the landscape of college football and the urgency to get into the NFL. And Deion actually comments on this, saying that it's about a whole lot of other things: teams, position, round projection. All that plays a role, because now with NIL and who they are, shoot, you can make just as much money here as you can there, unless you're one of the first 5 picks. Now, this is very significant. Think of all the players, and I'm not saying Shedeur Sanders is destined for failure in the NFL, but I'm sure there are players that are going to be way more successful in college football than they would be in the NFL. It's a very scary jump to make. Think of it that way. Imagine a player like Tim Tebow or Johnny Manziel, who is far, far more successful in college football than they were in the NFL. You could have 3, 4, maybe even 5 years of making sweet NIL money, depending on how popular you would be during a redshirt year, I suppose. And then if you happen to bust in the NFL, well, at least you would have made yourself a nice like $10 to $20 million off of NIL deals alone, which is almost as much as the amount that Deion Sanders made during his entire NFL career. Now, Deion also continued saying that it's more than just the amount of money that Shedeur can make. This actually has a lot to do with Caleb Williams, saying that Shedeur doesn't want to be number 2 to anybody. He doesn't get down like that. So, people are projecting him behind Caleb Williams. But Shedeur isn't no backseat rider. He drives his Maybach. He doesn't have a driver in it. He drives it. So it's important to note that Shedeur is capable of making his own decisions, but Deion Sanders makes a very good point. I mean, one of the best parts about NIL, although obviously a lot of people feel a specific way about NIL, is the fact that college football players have way more leverage. If a team that has been historically bad and has a trash front office that clearly has no idea what they're doing makes it and gets the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft, are you going to want to go play for that team? Or would you rather play it safe, stay back in college, earn a ton of money off of sponsors, have your brother run your YouTube channel for you, which is generating a lot of revenue, and then when the time's right, you could go into the NFL when maybe, I don't know, the LA Rams get the number 1 overall pick and Sean McVay will be your head coach. Which, by the way, if it doesn't happen this year, it's got to happen soon, right? I mean, Matthew Stafford is in his mid-30s, and that team is consistently injured. You get what I'm saying? At the end of the day, this gives college football players a ton of leverage. And Shedeur Sanders probably has the best guidance out of any college football player I think I've ever seen. I mean, he quite literally has Tom Brady giving him advice.
One question before I go, Tom, do you think a college kid needs a Phantom, like a Rolls Royce?
Nah. Hey, no, it's not a Phantom. It's a Rolls Royce Cullinan.
I think he needs to get his ass in the film room and spend as much time in there as possible.
Thank you,
less
Tom.
time in the car and more time in the film room.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate
And
that.
I seen you have one too, Tom. Don't think I seen.
I was just a rental. Hey, I had a few bucks in my pocket at that point. I'll see some car stories when we're together next time.
It's going to be really interesting to see how Shedeur's career goes. But so far, he's been crushing it. I don't know if the materialistic objects are going to kind of decrease his motivation, but he definitely has all of the tools to succeed. Tom Brady as a mentor, Deion Sanders as your daddy, and so far he's playing really well. If this is something you want us to cover on this channel, let us know in the comment section down below. Do you think that Shedeur should enter the NFL draft this year, or do you think he should wait? I'd like to hear what you have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.